So Raw after Mania did, in fact, deliver kind of new stars. We did finally hear from Cody Rhodes. And was there a giant tease of The Rock? I think so. This is things you might have missed. And before we get started, make sure you've hit the like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button too. So all eyes were on the Tribal Chief as Roman Reigns ended Raw. We wondered what he was going to say, and he didn't say too much. There didn't seem to be an injury that made him relinquish the title, even though he did seem in pain with his shoulder. Hopefully that's just a nagging injury and not something more serious. I loved his entrance with the Usos holding up both championship belts, walking behind him. That looked really, really cool. Big plus for that. Now, I love the fact you had Paul Heyman actually talk about Roman's accomplishments, the money side of it. But importantly, Paul Heyman called Roman Reigns the biggest box office attraction. Now, we all know who the real biggest box office attraction in the world is, right? It is indeed The Rock. So that was maybe a hint at The Rock returning to WWE. We've been talking about this. Would it happen at Mania? It didn't. Would it happen on Raw tonight? It didn't. But what Roman Reigns then said makes sense, because he said, we'll tell you what's next on Smackdown. Now, if you forgot, Smackdown is The Rock's show. Smackdown now is the A show for WWE. It could make a lot of sense. We started Raw with Cody Rhodes. And do you know what? A really good promo. Cody Rhodes talking about why he came back to WWE, his dream to be a world champion, to put that championship in his father's hands. Now he can't do that, but he can put it around his waist. I really loved his entrance, although it was a little bit weird seeing his head just sat there. I thought they might have decapitated Cody Rhodes at one point. But I think WWE needed this. WWE needed Cody Rhodes to stand in that ring and say it wasn't a hard choice to come back to WWE. And that's exactly what he did. So fair play to Cody, fair play to WWE. Really loved the fact that Seth came out. I thought it was going to continue the feud, and I wasn't really interested in that. But a handshake, Seth then walking away, very, very different what we normally would see in WWE. So I'm all right with that. I think that's pretty cool. I think Cody Rhodes, right now, you see it on Raw tonight, look genuinely happy to be there. And that's awesome to see. I think every single person deserves happiness. And if this is something that's going to make him happy, confirming that he's signed a multi-year deal with WWE, brilliant. Absolutely fair play. Really excited to see what Cody Rhodes does next. Apparently he is going to be a Raw superstar, so I don't think it'll be him on SmackDown. But Cody wanting that world title is something to definitely look forward to. Bianca Belair was on Raw this week, cutting a promo talking about becoming the new Raw Women's Champion. Obviously sporting that massive black eye. That looks really, really painful. But Bianca, importantly, did not get challenged. No Bayley, no Asuka, no Lacey Evans, no Io Shirai, no NXT call-ups. So what could the plan be for Bianca Belair? I think it could be Alexa Bliss. And I know what you're going to say, there's no hint to this, but think about it. She's getting married this week. And by the way, Alexa, if you watch this, congratulations in advance. But nonetheless, Alexa Bliss wasn't at Raw this week. So they couldn't do anything. Is she there next week or the week after? Possibly. And for that reason, could they be delaying Bianca's next contender because it's going to be Alexa Bliss? This would make sense going back to the Elimination Chamber. Let me know your thoughts down below. Now, this is a one-of-one Valentine's Lily prototype that never got released by WWE. Look at this. This was sold on WWE auctions. Definitely worth showing off. There was a ton of Alexa Bliss merchandise available at the WrestleMania Superstore, including this little promo picture, which I thought was quite cool. And something I definitely wanted to include because I know a lot of you won't have seen this. Veer Mahaan finally shows up to Raw. And he's a heel. Oh, why'd you make him heel? He attacked the Mysterios. You know what? I was so looking forward to Veer. He should have been a babyface, because I think we've all fallen in love with Veer over the past few months. All the memes, all the jokes. Now it's just, he's a heel and he's there. Please. But I think Dominic Mysterio watches these videos because for weeks I've been sort of ribbing him for, having the white and black attire, not colouring it in. And he's coloured it in! Oh my God. I love that, by the way, Dom, if you're watching this. You didn't go out the lines, give yourself a gold star. They're going to do it, aren't they? WWE are splitting up Rhea and Liv Morgan. Why? Why can't we have nice things? As Rhea Ripley left the ring, leaving Liv Morgan all alone, how do you turn your back on Liv? What? Honestly, mind boggles. It completely blows my mind sometimes. But I think sometimes Rhea Ripley needs to look in the mirror because, yes, Liv lost the match. But it's not just Liv she's recently left. She wanted the tag team with Nikki to stop. So maybe the problem isn't Liv or Nikki, Rhea. Maybe it's you. I don't know. They do seem to be staying together for now. Next week, there is a women's tag team title match. So I'm expecting it. Let me know in the comments below, do you care about Edge and Damian Priest? Because the Raw crowd were chanting, we don't care. Now, to be fair, they are the Raw After Mania ruckus crowd, but moments beforehand, they were called sheep, so they're going to try and hijack the segment, aren't they? Let's be honest. Now, there's a cool little Easter egg involving Damian Priest. Edge called him the Punishment of Justice, and his Ring of Honor name was Punishment Martinez. I really like that little Easter egg. That was kind of cool. But of course, the crowd just didn't seem into this, and I don't know why. I think this is really cool, but they weren't digging this at all. Obviously, they were called sheep. You got to play that into account, but not a good start for a new faction when people start chanting for Jamie Noble in your segment. That's a shame. Now, The Undertaker went into the Hall of Fame over the weekend. Massive, huge moment. And WWE have acknowledged that with a Replica Championship. And there's only 50 of them. This was exclusively sold today at WrestleMania Superstore. That is absolutely beautiful. I wish they mass released that because I would have purchased one without a shadow of a doubt. Bronbreaker won the NXT Championship on Raw, which was kind of interesting. Honestly, a lot of people on Twitter confused as to why they would do this match on Raw. Very, very simple answer. It is exposure for NXT. Bron has been all over WrestleMania weekend with a huge appearance at the Hall of Fame, inducting his father and his uncle. So you got to think this was a huge way to capitalize on that momentum. And maybe you might not watch NXT, but maybe you do tomorrow night. MVP turned on Lashley. The Hurt Business is dead again. Oh my God. Omos and MVP together. Omos needs this. 100% he needs this. But, oh man, I feel bad for Lashley. Hopefully we continue with babyface Lashley because it's fun. The crowd like him, so it's good. Hopefully Lashley, Omos, maybe WrestleMania Backlash. Lashley gets his revenge. But then we went straight into another team breaking up as Zelina and Carmella fought it out after losing the women's tag team titles. Carmella running to safety of Corey Graves. Zelina basically just pulled her off, backed off, and then it just ended with a kiss. Because why is Raw all about kisses at the moment? What is this? Can someone go through Raw in the last year and count how many kisses there's been? Now, you remember Elias died, yeah? Well, meet his younger brother, Ezekiel. Yep, this happened. Oh my God, they've repackaged Elias. Do you know what? We knew this was coming, and a name change is not a shock here. I love the fact he's entering into a feud with Kevin Owens. It looks okay on the surface. And I also really love the fact they didn't just try and ignore Elias. They didn't try and make you seem dumb for knowing that this is actually Elias, I think. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing by WWE to poke fun at itself. We'll see what happens next. I'm not going to judge it too soon. Not yet, anyway. But I think Raw was fun, in my opinion. 8 out of 10. There's always more they could do. Let's not lie. There's always more. But it was a fun, easy watch this week. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like, share, subscribe, turn on those notifications. Follow me on Twitter at CWrestlingUK, and I'll see you next time. Peace!